Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2 of the tournament action. This is the League of Legends Legend Series, and today with me is Nero Integrate, my co-commentator.
Hello. We've got Group B ahead of us, and I'm looking forward to this one. I hope that this one's going to be even better than the previous group. We've also got a Czech team right here, so they definitely have some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and what a Czech team we do have here. It's eSuba, and they're pretty well known all over the place in esports because they had some good Hearthstone players. They also have a Counter-Strike team, as I am informed, and I think they could be the favorite in this group. And definitely we've been talking about them yesterday, and they are a Czech team as well. Yesterday it was Alza Ecstatis. They already made clear that they want to go to the LAN finals, and they will go to the LAN finals. So maybe eSuba are gonna join them there.
Yeah, there definitely is a big chance, although still the enemies are quite strong. You can just take a look at the teams. There's Digital Paradox, who are, quite serious about esports in Poland there. Zulu, just by their website, you can already say how seriously they take everything. And additionally, Instinct from Greece, as Panathinaikos didn't manage to really do anything in the previous group. It's going to be a good time to show that there are some even better Greek teams than that.
Yeah, Instinct, definitely. They will have to hold up the flag for their country because Panathinaikos, we expected a bit more from them yesterday, but they weren't really able to step up and to show that they are strong enough, as strong as their name would suggest. But today, maybe there's another day for Greek esports. So let us talk about the first game that we will cast today. It's going to be eSuba against Echo Zulu. So you were saying Echo Zulu, they take it seriously. I already explained eSuba, they are well known. They are an established esports organization. So what do we have to expect from this game one?
Hopefully it's going to be a really good one. We already saw some fans of Echo Zulu yesterday, just putting it out and waiting for that match. But eSuba is going to be a strong contestant right here for sure. But as I mentioned, they have big shoes to fill. Maybe that's going to be a little bit of a pressure on them. While Echo Zulu, that's their time to shine. That's their time to impress everybody, to beat a little bit of a bigger name. eSuba, I remember they were playing in some qualifiers to the Challenger Series many times. So these guys are around there. You can see them most of the time if you look at the matches in the semi-pro leagues. But Echo Zulu, for me, it's a little bit of a newer name, and definitely, as I mentioned, they look pretty good. So now it's time to show it inside of the game.
Yeah, and we also had a team from the Netherlands yesterday. Was Doran's Alpha, and they had great support from their people. And I hope that the fans of Echo Zulu will give the same support to their team, because that definitely helps you. If you're a player and you're in a tournament, you're in the group stages, and you just see the fans, they're going crazy in the chat and they just cheer for you. That's additional motivation that you might need in order to grab a victory here. But we were saying it, eSuba, they're going to be a tough first opponent. So Echo Zulu, they really have to step up here. And we are just about to see what's going to happen. Before the game starts, though, just if you want to add something.
Just about the first match, I think that it is already going to show us a lot about the group. If Echo Zulu actually play an even game against eSuba, everything is fine, and we can expect this group to be really, really good. But if eSuba, from the very first second, show their dominance, well, we probably have another favorite already right here on our hands.
Yeah, definitely. On paper, they're the favorite team to really make it out of that group, but they still have to prove it. So, as you say, this first game is some kind of indicator to show us in which direction this group will go. On the other hand, we also have our second game that we will cast after that. It's Digital Paradox. You were talking about them already. And Instinct, they have to step up and restore the name for Greece once more. What do you expect out of that game? And do you think that either of those teams are going to be a contestant to eSuba?
Oh, it's really hard to say. I kind of know at which point Digital Paradox stands, but I don't exactly think that is the international level to compete in this kind of tournament. But I might be wrong because I never really got some real comparisons. So I'm really looking forward to see them show what they've got right here. And if they actually do well in the group, they will like restore my hopes in that team because for me, like it's been in the shadow of other teams in Poland for a very long time. So maybe now it's just a moment to show something better, something bigger because they're the only Polish team right here. So yeah, that's already a good shot for them. And everybody will hear about it probably. For Instinct, I'm quite curious about the lineup of that team. What we'll see right here because it's a Greek team indeed, but I saw on ESL pages that they also mix in some different nationalities into that lineup, so I'm really wondering what they'll come up with.
Yeah, definitely. And if you at home, as a viewer, want to participate in the show, you definitely have the possibility to do so. You can either use the Twitch chat or text us on Twitter. You're welcome to do so because we really like to hear what do you think about the show? What do you think about the teams? What do you expect from them? So please let us know if you find the time to do so. And I'm sure we're going to see some crazy games today. Let's jump a little bit back and talk about what happened yesterday. So we had that group with Alza Ecstatis and Dorrance Alpha. Those two teams were playing in the finals and they left a good impression. But yesterday, what impressed me most was that early game aggression that we saw from Dorrance Alpha. And are we going to expect something like that to happen again today from maybe another team that's in this group?
There's a possibility. That's just specific teams that decide to do that. If you're confident enough that you're able to outplay your enemies that way, it's really nice to have on your side. If it indeed works out, actually, I know it's like a popular strat on when you're smurfing, when you're playing against slightly weaker enemies. You always want to invade. No matter what champions you have, it probably always is going to work out. It's going to catch them off guard. Unprepared teams, stressed out teams that do not have like a lot of experience in the tournaments could really get completely pinned down, could be thrown off just by that. So in my opinion, it's a good idea from some teams if they just feel confident enough. And that's a different thing because having good confidence in international tournaments also requires a lot of strength.
Yeah, definitely. And that remains to be seen. But we saw it yesterday, maybe the Czech play style, because the team from the Czech Republic, they won their group yesterday, Alza Ecstatis. Maybe this is some kind of national meta game that we could expect, that they just sit back, they try to control the game. So this is something that also has to be seen if eSuba, if they participate in that same kind of play style. I think there's a good possibility to do so. On the other hand, I read something interesting in the internal chat here, because yesterday somebody from Alza Ecstatis was saying that, okay, we won our group now, but watch out. Tomorrow is going to be a great day because you're going to watch eSuba and they're definitely the best at our national stage. So this is going to be probably the highest expectation that you can set for this group B.
Okay, that's really interesting that they said that themselves, or maybe it was like one of the fans, but yeah, holding great confidence in this team, I would also do that. I mean, as I said, this name just shows up all over the place all the time. They're active, they're doing their best, they're trying their chances, and I think that they got close on many occasions to actually like getting into the Challenger series right there. Plus, eSuba also in the Legend series right here. They've got some stuff to show, definitely, because last time their Counter-Strike team was invited, if I'm not mistaken, and they finished at one of the last places in the groups. So now maybe the eSuba League of Legends division can actually get out of the groups into the LAN finals and show that huge contrast and actually redeem themselves.
Yeah, definitely. On the other hand, we did a great mistake yesterday because from the first moment on, we were definitely underrating Doran's Alpha as a team from the Netherlands. So let's not do that mistake right now again, because Echo Zulu, they might have the same chance to just surprise us in the way that we did not expect beforehand. So this is still an open game, and we saw a lot coming down yesterday to the compositions of the teams. In the later process of the group stages, the first ban nearly always was a great span because it's just such a dominant jungler right now. Do we expect something like this to happen again? Do the teams maybe react to what they've seen yesterday? Because I'm sure at least one or two members of the team will have watched the stream and just looked at how do the people play in this tournament.
There might be a possibility like that, but I think that it's all just set in solid standard. Unless one team comes up with some different playstyle from their local scene, as you said, maybe that the kind of Czech style that Xtatus showed us yesterday. Maybe it's gonna show up. I really think it's just gonna be something normal. If their Graves does well in most of the games, he is gonna be banned. But most of the time, it will be just the standard bans, just the three regular AD carries that you usually see being in the rotation out there all the time, and all that thing. So, as I said yesterday, I'm going to say it again. Hopefully, we do get to see an Ivern. You could see the potential. Shadow had a great counter gank. Unfortunately, during a game that was remade because they didn't have their support. But if that was the official game, I think they would have had the upper hand and possibly led that match to their victory. So, once again, just hoping to see a good Ivern right here.
Yeah, definitely. And if we take a look, because we have some information about the favorite champions that the teams like to pick, if we take a look at eSuba here, we just have one champion for each player. So at the top lane, we might see Gangplank, jungler Lee, mid Azir, as an AD carry Wayne, and support Bard. So this looks like their favorite go-to guys. They really want to build that kind of a team, and we saw it yesterday. This might be even happening because from the bans that we've seen so far, we've only see that ban on Lee. So they're falling a bit out of the standard here by going for an Azir mid and even a Vayne AD carry. That's something that we haven't seen yesterday.
Yeah, so something new might be really nice. I mean, we did get to see that Twitch. Twitch was completely lethal, even though he lost on lane, even though he got pretty seriously beaten up. So there's a possibility like that. Once again, you just get to see one person that can execute his favorite champion very well, and nothing else matters. Remember that LeBlanc picked into the Cassiopeia that a lot of people doubted, and it went legendary. It was 9-0-1 or something along these lines at the end of the game. So, yeah, once again, a lot will go down to the level of this group. If it's evened out, actually, or if there's a huge skill disparity between the teams, and eSuba will just dominate. That's why I'm glad that we get to see Echo Zulu in the first match, because for me, they're the contestant that can surprise. If they actually do something against eSuba, we're going to get ourselves a good show. If not, oh, it's really going to be hard to take down the Czech Titan, I can say.
Yeah, definitely. You're right about that. So, as we mentioned, a lot will go down in this first game, and I think we're just seconds away from jumping into that pick and ban phase. And there's not much else to say, but the tension definitely high. eSuba, they are the favorite in that group. And as I just heard from the production, one player is missing for now. He still is not at his computer, so it's a player from eSuba that still maybe needs to do something. You were talking about it yesterday. A player from Doran's Alpha was also missing. You said, okay, maybe he just came out of university, has to wash his face. So maybe some kind of ritual still going on that you need to get yourself ready, that maybe grants you a little bit of luck. That just,
Oh, well,
yeah.
still, it's just the middle of the week. It's 1600, so pretty much people could be finishing school, job, and stuff like that. And it's quite an early hour to start, but right after that, I think everything will be just getting smoother since 5 p.m. is getting really normal already. And yeah, just waiting for that one player, if I'm not mistaken, as you said, from eSuba, and then we'll be ready to get on the way with this. And I'm just wondering how much time the players usually have if they're missing or something. Usually it's like 10 to 15 minutes to wait for a member of the team if he's missing. But hopefully we also have contact with that guy, because the admins and the teams are all sitting on a Discord channel, so they're always in contact. So that's everything is clear. That's why yesterday we had that match replay, sort of speaking, because we all figured out that it was some bug on the side of the game and not because of the player that he was not able to play. So we were able to communicate that pretty clearly, and then we restarted the match. It still did not work out at all for Outplayed, but after all, there's some justice out there, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And we can use the time to once more explain how the format really pans out here, because we are playing the group stage in the GSL format. So the first winner of the match will advance to the winners match, and the second winner as well. And then we will have a losers match where both losers of the first games will fight each other. And after that, as you can see here in the tree, we will just go on through like that, and we will have some elimination in that loser match. Then there comes the decider match where we have another elimination up to the finals. And that's an interesting thing where we have something changed up a little bit. It's not two teams going out of this group, it is just one team going out of that. And this one team might even still be eliminated from the tournament, even though they won their first two games and came through the winner match. So that about the format here. And we're only playing best of one matches. So there's also that possibility for one lucky shot against a team that would usually be a little bit better in maybe a best of 3 or best of 5 series.
Yeah, that's the thing. Definitely, there's some upset material right here. But then on the other hand, it might be a little bit of a shame to see some teams out that could progress in best of threes. Like we said about Thorns Alpha yesterday, these guys have been slightly evolving every single time, have been learning pretty well and adapting to what was happening. So in the first match against Alpha Status, these guys just survived in the early game, kind of struggled through with 1-for-1 skirmishes, but then they just got devoured. But in the next match, lasted a little bit longer. It was much closer of a matchup, but then still at the end of the day, Alzex that has just proved to be better. So you see, not only is it time for them to show themselves right here, not only a chance to go to Hamburg to ELC Gaming Studios to actually play on the LAN finals, but a chance to gain some international experience, and definitely it's going to be pretty valuable for many teams in here. As I mentioned, Digital Paradox, they're playing on the Polish pitch a lot of time, but the international tournaments, in my opinion, is what matters the most. Usually should in the games, but League of Legends is that specific game where international tournaments are not really so often seen, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. But so far, we haven't seen really that setup where the underdog was really able to beat the favorite. So that's still something that has to happen in the group stages, because I expect to see at least one game where the underdog really comes into the play and crushes the opponent somehow. But so far, we've not seen that. And so far, the favorites just, rolling through here. And it looks like we're still not ready to jump in. So
yeah, and I don't really think it's gonna change today. Like eSuba is gonna be the clear favorite, so either somebody surprises or they are just going to roll through. And just looking at the lineups right here, I just really hope that Echo Zulu will be able to do that, because if not, Digital Paradox might really be struggling, because as I said, they're always kind of in the shadow on the Polish scene. and eSuba are like always out there at the top. They're fighting against the best Polish teams on some occasions on the, for instance, Challenger Series qualifiers. While Digital Paradox, I don't think they actually had a chance like that. So they don't not only have to overcome eSuba, but while doing that, they also have to rise above the other Polish teams. And that's no easy task.
Yeah, those nationalities, they are some kind of background battle because we were talking about it yesterday. In the whole of the group stages, we have 4 teams from Italy, and we have, I guess, 2 teams from the Czech Republic with eSuba and Alza Ecstatis. So there's also a battle of nations going on here, and you have to stand for your country and put up your flag. So that's definitely another thing being added and adding some spice to our tournament here. And I'd really like, to be honest, I'd really like to see that match in the LAN finals where Alza Ecstatis goes up against eSuba, because Alza Ecstatis, we just mentioned it, they had such a dominant performance yesterday in their group. And I don't really think that eSuba can be that much better. So I guess this would really be a great game between those 2 teams, and they would fight out the national dominance in there and also fight for the Legend Series title in here. So definitely that will be a game that I'd really love to see. But yeah, it looks like we are ready to go with the picks and bans, and eSuba start with a first ban on LeBlanc here.
Could be a very smart ban, especially if they actually hit the soft spots on the enemies, or on the other hand, they just watched yesterday's matches and are afraid that another bonk is going to go legendary on them. But I just want to actually pitch in that another Counter-Strike Legend Series will be happening, hoping to see the eSuba's Counter-Strike lineup right there. Too, but yeah, the Legend Series is thriving, it's actually growing, and we do get to see a lot of these tournaments, so hopefully it's here to stay. Luluban, on the other hand, so still going pretty standard until the moment we see that Warwick ban, and I've been discussing with many other commentators that Warwick pick, like we've been watching it on the LCS scene and on the other matches also of the lower caliber. Very rarely does this Warwick have a very strong flavor. It usually is just this champion that you pick, and then of course he does have some very strong engage. But other than that, if it doesn't work, if you don't really hit those jumps, if you don't really hit your vital abilities, you don't do anything. He's not definitely a factor that will carry your team. He's not such an important jungler that you can have right there. While on the other hand, yesterday we did get to see some Graves that was just completely carrying the game on his back. So that's definitely not what Warwick can do. Nunu is going to be the last ban from eSuba while waiting for the last one from eCoZulu. Once again, just wondering if we're going to get to see some placeholders or if it's just going to be a quick pick and ban phase, because remember, that's always a possibility.
Yeah, hopefully. But for now, it looks like eCoZulu, they were targeting the opponent's support, a little bit taking out Lulu and Zyra here. I wonder what they have going on with their support. As I am informed, they like to play Janna, Thresh, Blitz, and Nunu as support. So maybe that's why eSuba is going for that Nunu ban here. Also, that Warwick is used by Dino. He's top laner from eCoZulu, so maybe also a target there on that. On that, yeah, personal liking here from Dino. So that might explain the Warwick ban. eSuba's first pick for the top lane, it's Rumble.
On the other side, we do get to see Gleb, but that's what I wanted to touch on. That's exactly what we saw yesterday. The LeBlanc picked into the Cassiopeia and breaking the entirety of the game. Here, you get to see the Warwick and the Nunu ban, and that's something new, that's something fresh, that's something a little bit more unusual. So it's good to get rid of it, because it would be a little bit of a shame if a Warwick top just completely devours your entire team. Just like Fiora, you could see yesterday. Whenever Fiora got banned from him, that Galio was not so good. So Alza Ecstatis had a very easy time, and not only them, had a pretty easy time actually getting rid of that top laner on Doris Alpha. So yeah, Definitely good targeted bans right here from eSuba. And they also show that they do know their enemy, that they will not actually troll the game, that they care about this match, and they're going to give their best. Rumble, Lee Sin, we already see a combination of very skillful picks that will definitely matter a lot later in the game if they actually get going. And Syndra additionally, so already eSuba looks hell of a strong team. And Echo Zulu adding the Kled, Graves, Ari. Kled yesterday was very, very strong, although I still do not exactly believe in the capabilities of that champion. Everything can just go wrong for you, and you can be really unlucky on it, thus being a big burden to your team. But then they get Graves, Ari. So these are also quite solid picks. But just comparing it to what eSuba has, you've got to already be happy if you're a Czech.
Yeah, but talking about that Graves, we were already mentioning it yesterday. Graves really changed the outcomes of the matches yesterday. So Akazulu might have a good jungler here, but on the other hand, as you were saying, with Rumble, Lee Sin, and Syndra, that looks pretty much solid for eSuba here. But still, Akazulu, on the other hand, I'd also agree that this team looks solid, at least from what we see now. I mean, Graves in the jungle, that's nothing you do not want to have. You have an Ahri mid that's always capable of just doing crazy stuff. So I think for now, from the compositions that we are just looking at, this should be an even match.
Could definitely be. And, well, for Kled, definitely hoping that it's going to work out there in the top lane, because if eSuba have a Syndra, they have a Lee Sin, if that Rumble is actually going to get some space for himself, if he's going to get rolling, will be a big problem. Even if that Lee Sin does not do well in the game, it's all about the mechanics right there. If you get one good kick, you can completely make a team fight for your team. Syndra also, somebody just does not have vision for a split second. You get the unstoppable, force in the form of Syndra. So you have to be really careful already against the team of eSuba. While for Echo Zulu, there are some ifs and buts, and Ari definitely has to be pretty good on the roaming if she wants to accomplish a lot in this game. It's gonna be Graves. That's for me. I've seen some hits and misses from Graves, but yesterday he's just been amazing. So possibly we're gonna carry on, and once again, Ekozula are gonna get a good Graves. The next time we'll have to be banned. Once again, I'm just really happy that this is our first game, and I doubted a little bit in Ekozula, but as you mentioned, this far it looks like it's gonna be an even game. Though we do not see any kind of a Jhin ban, and there is no Twitch, there is no Vayne, we do get to see Lucian and Caitlyn, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And it's going to be interesting how it shapes out, the whole bot lane, because now with the subs, Lulu and Zyra banned, they've been so popular lately. But we see a Poppy coming in here for eSuba. That is pretty cool. And Echo Zulu, they might follow. Okay, so the Poppy, I'm informed by the production, it's not Poppy, it's Karma. So we have some kind of technical difficulties maybe here. And we see the Blitzcrank that we wanted to see yesterday. So maybe some nice hooks incoming here.
All right, so that's going to be a Lucian Blitzcrank bottom lane up against Caitlyn and Karma. And that already just gives you a lot of range. Wondering if that Blitzcrank is going to be able to get a good grab for himself in the early game, because it definitely is going to be vital to set up the score on that bot lane. If not, you're going to get poked to death. Also, Lucian definitely could be struggling against Caitlyn in the very, very early stages right here. He's going to have to be pretty slippery, going to have to dodge a lot. So we are hopping into the game pretty quickly.
Exactly, indeed. But we're facing a pause screen right now, so maybe something might not be just right yet. So I'm sure we're just about to fix it instantly. Maybe one of the players just saw something or spilled something. We were talking about that also yesterday. There's always the possibility that something goes wrong right at the start of the game. But I hope it is nothing too serious here.
And well, I actually kind of regret that it's not that poppy. It would be pretty interesting. It does work on support. Could be a pretty good champion right there. When teams are experimenting, it has been shown on the bottom lane a couple of times, but now is not the time, definitely. And both teams are not really going for something really flashy, for anything explosive. I would say it's just a very
No.
strong standard.
But look at what Echo Zulu has prepared for us once more. The Dutch team, they're on their way to the bot lane, and we saw that yesterday from Doran's Alpha. They were doing the exact same thing, and they got a double kill out of that. So they're going into that bush, and that just seems to be a heck of a start if it goes right. But eSuba, for now, they're just staying under the turrets, and they're not wasting any time. But now, Echo Zulu, they just go for the jungle. But they're standing on a ward here, so they're definitely seen by eSuba, and they're being chased away, so nothing too flashy happening here in the early stages of the game.
Well, Dummy definitely likes to play that Thresh a lot. Blitzcrank also has hooks. He could also be very vital to one's game, and that actually opens up the jungle of Echo Zulu. That's exactly what I like. That's exactly what I love. Doran's Alpha, that's how you counter that kind of a playstyle. Doran's Alpha were always playing pretty aggressively. We pointed out how they first off caught out one of the enemies.
Now Hades has to be careful here, but he's caught by the enemy team and just barely gets out of it. Wow, that was close in these early stages. Hades all alone. Didn't really expect the enemy team to go for the counter jungle that early on.
Yep, and that's a pretty stupid mistake by him, I believe, because he should have known that. Now there, yeah, he gets that.
You definitely have to be careful about that.
Yeah, not only Elise, and as I mentioned yesterday with Doran's Alpha, they either succeeded on that aggressive strat or they were avoided. But the enemy team never thought about being aggressive themselves. That's exactly what I think is good. Even just the vision would have been enough, but instead they stole a red buff, so that's really good. They've beaten up the enemy Graves, and I'm not surprised that the Karma and Caleb are playing it safe right here. You've got a Blitzcrank in your team. If you don't invade, it's surprising.
Yeah, definitely. So smartly played here by eSuba. Just staying patient and smart. We were talking about that. They like to play that passive controlling playstyle, maybe because we've seen that so much yesterday from Alpha Status. And that's just a way to sit back, relax, watch your opponent, just get them to know. And this is exactly what happened here.
So for now, a little bit of an advantage we do see in favor of eSuba already. So you can see from day to day, from team to team, from match to match, you can see the big disparities between play styles. Like we saw yesterday, one team got demolished just because they did not control the vision as good as the enemy team. Then later on, we had a team that controlled the vision pretty well. It was Doran's Alpha facing off against Alpha Status. Alpha Status still outclassed them because they had some really cheeky wards in important choke points where they just caught somebody once, twice, thrice, and then they were able to push through to grab the victory. Now we're going a step even further. eSuba right here, they know what to do when you see enemies on the map. You know where they are, so you just have to make movements to make it as uncomfortable for them as possible. This is exactly what's happening. Just take a look at the middle. Rako is already so low on health that Syndra is doing quite fine. And as I mentioned, Ari's got to be quite key to the game. She's got to be roaming. She's got to be helping the team. She's got to get rolling, get fed if she's to be as impactful as the Syndra. And if Syndra wins this lane, already Echo Zulu will be in deep trouble.
And in the meanwhile, Lee Sin is making his way into the opponent's jungle once more. And he's looking for that Graves. But is he going to engage? It looks like this. But Klett is on the way to help out, and now he just has to get away. But Rumble also does engage from Jackie. Rumble being able to chase Klett away. Jackie has to be careful now. He's pretty low on HP. And they're standing on the opponent's wards. So everything they do is seen by Echo Zulu here. Now he just decides to get out of that safely, just porting back to the base. that could have been a bit bad for him if he got caught off guard there. But everything
Oh well,
fine.
Lee Sin is trying to be pretty active right here, but I feel like he's got to make something work. Just take a look at the CS he's got right there. It's 8 compared to 21. He might be falling a little bit behind because that invade, not only did he not actually force anything out from his enemies, some of their spells are still in their place, but also he was late for the Krugs steal, so he got no gold, no experience out of that invade at all. But at the same time, the middle is getting real horrible. 40 to 16 in favor of the Syndra.
And there's another engage here from Hades coming into the bot lane, and a nice flash here from Dummy. But Lee Sin on the way. Jackie now helping out. And good luck to Caitlyn. What a nice. Really taking out that blitzcrank with the first step. Also to the lane. But to go.
Oh wow, so a lot happened right there, definitely. And I was just about to say, with that CS advantage, no matter what happens right here, eSuba are gonna have that strong pillar in the form of Syndra in their middle lane, and it's going to get dangerous at some point, no matter what. Then the additional aggression from eCoZulu, that got pretty cool. It definitely had chances of working out. The Dummy went all in, full ham, and the rest of the team just abandoned him. So he flashed in and used his ignite just to get left behind and killed. And, well, that's the first blood. That's a pretty long exchange and a pretty impressive one, but definitely worked in the favor of eSuba. But now, you could not have expected anything else. Ari was constantly on low HP out there in the middle, and that's just a simple right R click from the Syndra, and you're gone. Now, not only is it just farm, but also a kill, and that kill is worth full 300, so it's going to be perfectly fine. There's the flash from goes, securing at least a frag on the bottom lane, so that's nice, because Dummy got really aggressive right there, as I already mentioned, and to waste that would be pretty sad. Now, the 2 teleports are coming through, and that's going to force out a flash from the top laner of eSuba. It's quite worth it, definitely. Getting a kill right there on the bottom lane, evening it out a little bit. Both summoner spells are down for the 80 carries. There is a little bit of an advantage for the support of eSuba out there, but well, it's not so major. I think that lane is going to calm down a little bit. Well, unless the jungles just decide to interact with it again, but other than that, it's going to be fine for both eCoZulu and for eSuba. But the middle, it just gets really hard, and I think that it's going to force Graves to show up around there. But even if he shows up, I'm not too sure if Syndra cannot even 1v2 them.
Yeah, Syndra really out farming Ari here. It's 40 creeps what she's ahead, and also if we take a look at the overall gold status, eSuba just leading eCoZulu here with 2k gold already, and also the other lanes are winning with their creeps. Only Lee Sin is the only one that's a little bit behind now. But let's see, Lee Sin is making his way once more to the bot lane. But Graves is there as well, and that looks like a nice catch, and T is instantly slain. I was a great player. Now Lee Sin also has to be quite careful not to overextend here.
Alright, so I thought that Caitlyn is going to be quite safe, especially seeing their start right there in the bottom lane, but somehow many of the times there is no effort next to T. Now, that's, yeah, the Syndra getting rolling. In the meantime, also, when the fight at the bottom lane was happening, she got a solo kill in the middle. Now follows it up with a double kill, making herself 4-0-0, and so convenient. He also gets a blue buff out of this one. Man.
Let's take another look at that engage in the mid lane. So even though the charm was hitting Syndra with a nice kill here on Harry, and that opened it up for Jakey to really go in and go for T.
So bottom lane is still doing quite fine in terms of the CS, but I really think that he should be a little bit more careful from now on. Though, yeah, 3 more balls just going straight through Raka. Once again, he's pretty low in health. As I mentioned, he's constantly low on health right there on his lane. Domi has to flash, and that's a good decision, because otherwise he probably would have been dead in no time. Just a little bit of crown control, and that Syndra's going to mess you up. Ghost is used up, though. But there's still flash available, and with the ultimates coming up, it could easily be the 6th kill coming in no time. Hades, he's got to dodge out a little bit, so the inner flame does not hit him from Karma. There's no additional slow, and Syndra is not going to be there on time. But that's already a 2nd turret with no turrets attacked even by Echo Zulu in here. Seriously. The Kled also isn't doing just as good as he should in the top lane in order to carry his team, so everybody's behind on the map, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Ultimate's coming back up, the flash is available. Can't do anything.
Yeah, that was definitely a great kill here by Syndra, very quickly executed. And also T, if we take a look at level 7, not really getting behind that much, and everything seems to just run well for eSuba, at least for now. And eKazula, they just have to find a way to really step up and make something happen here, and the quicker, the better.
Yeah, and it's really gonna be hard for eSuba to find a tougher opponent in this group. So that clarifies a lot. I really still am looking forward to how Digital Paradox will do, but even if that match is one-sided in favor of either Instinct or Digital Paradox, they're going to be far away from eSuba. And I could already tell that from the very first seconds of this match because of what eSuba did. The invade in the bottom lane, no problem. They reacted instantly. They were not even planning to invade the enemy team, but they reacted to what the movement of the map was. Now they see AK doing that. Rift Herald, that could easily be stolen. Dino jumps in, but he's all alone. He's got to be careful. He's not such a strong Kled as he thinks he is. Manages to get away with the flash, but now the Rift Herald should be getting restarted soon, but it actually gets killed. And that's
and by Echo Zulu, so they were able to really make a steal here, but Dino dies for it, so they also have to pay something for that Rift Herald.
Yeah, they are picking up.
One of the first things that didn't go really well for eSuba, as they were engaging, but they will maybe get another kill as Jakey is on Domi here, and also Domi will fall. So at least they get 2 kills out of that, even though they lost the Rift Herald. So that was a bit uncautious here by Domi, all alone without the help of his team engaging there.
And yeah, it's just the 12th minute. Doing a Rift Herald, going for such a strong objective so early may not have been the best idea, especially with a Mountain Drake on the map. So they could use that, and with how easily they're taking the turrets, also they could have just focused on the turrets. That steal, it's not something like completely surprising, it's not anything game breaking. Alright, eKazula could do that, but that was only because eSuba wanted to be a little bit too quick. Now, they already know, with T dying 2 times in the bottom lane right there, with that Rift Herald being stolen, they know that they cannot be so reckless. They still have to be pretty careful, but I feel like on their TeamSpeak right now, they're just discussing how to finish the game already.
Yeah, definitely, they're in good shape here. 4 towers already down for them. Now we see the Rift Herald in the mid lane, but they're all focusing him in order to cut him down easily and also get a kill. It's Syndra again grabbing Goose here, who was a little bit out of position and couldn't really be saved by his teammates. So that Rift Herald, not with a lot of impact.
Oh, press R. Just a lot of players are already getting annoyed by that, as during the Polish Championship, I was talking with a couple of teams, and even the semi or even pro players are saying that Syndra is just way too simple of a champion. There's nothing you can screw up. You just click R and you can easily get a kill, and especially if you get fed. So you can just focus on dominating your lane, and with that, you are sure to secure some really good champion for your team. I'm not really saying that a victory already. I'm not really saying that it's the only thing that you need, but that single Syndra, that single mid laner can already give you so much.
And another time, Jakey is here in his opponent's jungle and just taking the blue buff there. This is also something not going well for eKaZulu, as Jakey is constantly taking creeps off that enemy jungle and just denying the opponent's grave to really make something happen in his own jungle. And now T is getting dummied as he got a nice grab here. Good. Double kill. But in the end, also very slang.
Also, that legendary. And actually, I think that they banned LeBlanc, if I'm not mistaken. So I was talking about how LeBlanc yesterday was able to get that legendary status pretty quickly, pretty easily. He was dominating everybody. They had that kind of Syndra prepared. Maybe they thought that LeBlanc's going to be just simply annoying against Syndra. Well, at the same time, the enemy team got a pretty mobile mid laner themselves, but that's something that at the end of the day, Humanoid was able to deal with very quickly. So not even that battle blank was needed, if I'm not mistaken. That's at least what I think. And yeah, T going down in that team fight. Once again, he's just this always one exposed person in the team. Sometimes he dies, alright. And it started with him not being careful enough in the bottom lane, but even if he's the only guy dying, doesn't matter to his team because they're still doing everything that's needed, even more than it is needed to secure this game. 0-4-0 on the RE, 100 CS behind. Oh my lord, that's a lot. And with it, not much is needed to just close out the game. And as I mentioned, that's exactly what they're looking for. Another team fight, another couple of towers taken, and they're going to be chipping away at that base, waiting possibly for the Baron to just more easily close it out. But soon we could see some inhibitors taken out already. Well, Dami waiting with a rocket grab, but he actually misses it. So nothing's going to come their way. And now they've got to be careful. They're kind of split apart by that mantrad inner flame. But luckily enough, they're good.
In the middle, he's going to be
once again.
Nice engage there by Rako, making something happen with that Ari finally, but it might be a little bit too late for something like that. And that aggression is still going on here on the top lane. Domi trying to defend that with the help of Hades. But against Buffer with that Syndra, they have to bring the whole team up there, and Domi still going down here. Buffer the one to take him once more, and that's just very, very good play style. 10-0-2. That is just legendary.
Oh well, with the scat of the week, he got the stun, and like now on that Lucian. Then he transferred over to the Blitzcrank to finish him off, and that stun on Lucian again without Blitzcrank in the vicinity is going to guarantee them the kill. Yeah, Unleashed Power once again doing its might. And another turret is taken just like that. All these singular kills, don't really think they matter so much anymore with, yeah, exactly, with Syndra having 10 on her account. And that grab was actually pretty nice, but then the Sonic Wave and well, drawing into Hades to nearly get to safety, but movement speed is just enough for eKaZulu to catch up with him and still get that one. Equalizer right in the middle of the team fight, scatters the enemy team apart with Hades being exhausted. There's nothing the red team can do completely, and eKaZulu are getting picked up one after another. Will they catch the Graves? That's going to be pretty vital to what happens next, because in 30 seconds we do have a Baron. Possibly it could be the inhibitor turret taken down right here, but nope. Instead, it's just Dino who falls without Yeki. Once again, gets a little bit complicated for eSuba. But well, why not
just that? What an easy kill here. What an easy kill for Syndra. just taking out Blitzcrank like he was nothing. And as you mentioned, Baron is going to be ready in 10 seconds, and they're making their way to it, probably going for the Baron buff, and that might enable them to do the last push to already finish this game. And there's no vision available here for eSuba because they were pinned back all the time. Graves is on his way, maybe trying to get that steal happen, but he's all alone, and what is this one man gonna do against it? So the Nasher also goes to eSuba here.
Yeah, was possible to still steal the Rift Herald, but that's gonna be about that, I guess. For eSuba, it already seems like they'd given up, apparently with that lifesteal on Ari, I guess. And yeah, just like this, the Baron's taken. It's a little bit unlucky for eSuba that they weren't able to take that inhibitor a little bit earlier. There comes the damage D as always. He's the one cut off by the enemy team, but now even with the missed Sonic Wave, the kill is still going to be taken by Nikki and the gang. And Rako, he should be able to run away from there, although other stuff to take care of is available on the map for eSuba. Just push a little bit, just boost the minions with the Baron buff, just get another turret, and in the meantime, at this exact moment, a turret means an inhibitor turret already. So that should be pretty easy to close it off, and Domi has a good idea of finding somebody with a hook, but right next to him is a Syndra, so now he finds out it wasn't such a good idea indeed. Now very low HP on Goose, but he manages to make it out of there. But it doesn't matter because he's still eliminated for enough moments for Syndra to once again just wreak some havoc, and the inhibitor is being
another
taken
inhibitor down with that. They're now going to focus on it, and it is those little plays. Domi is trying to make something happen, and even though he sets a great hook, there's just nothing to really follow that up. And now we see Hades fight against Jakey, but Jakey is always the one to win that in this stage of the game. Once again, Domi is going for a nice hook, but still...
Oh well.
This time, a nice shutdown. But as I mentioned, this is too little too late. This is not going to change the outcome of the game. At least it doesn't really look like there's much in it anymore for Echo. Can they make something happen here? Domi, he's the one to try to get it with his hooks. Jakey, shut down.
Yeah, so good knock up.
Here.
Good knock up just as Leeson was trying to run away, so he's read through that play, then another rocket grab to guarantee himself a kill, and well, he's doing a good job right here. He sees the targets, he attacks them in a normal way, should work pretty fine with a Blitzcrank, except right here if you catch somebody, he can't just easily kill you. Now, that's gonna be, well, the eliminated effort. Actually thought that it's gonna be enough to help his AD carry, but it wasn't. And the inner flames also are not going to help enough, and the rocket grab is going to be coming up really shortly, so even if Goose does not take the kill just now, would have come into his hands a second later.
Yeah, and finally we do see that symbiosis between Goose and Domi, because now they're finally working together in a great fashion. If they could have done that earlier in the game, we might have seen another outcome here, but maybe there's still that little chance for them to take this game back if they just keep on playing like that, because they're understanding each other pretty well in those last situations that we've seen. But Goose now going up all alone against Jakey, but look who's there, it's Domi once again. So the dream team here going to fight Jakey and Buffer, but Buffer with that fat Syndra, you really have to be careful when engaging her.
Yeah, that's the first death actually for the Syndra in the middle. There's the first death also for the top laner, first death for effort. So some stuff has happened in here actually, but yeah, it's just eSuba once again getting a little bit too greedy. Just like with the situation on the Rift Heralds, it was a little bit too quick to actually get that. It all being uncontested, it was the same with the Nexus right here. No, there comes
now we see another team fight coming in, and it's important that they stay alive. It's important that Goose and Domi, that they get some room to work here. But Domi instantly focused by Jakey. Not able to set a good hook, and Jakey slays him. But the shutdown here coming in still. There are just two guys left. It's Hades and Raiko. Can they make something happen here? Going up against 4 players from eSuba. and it doesn't really look like that. Rumble with the Zonia's Hourglass, just zoning them out, and the Nexus is gonna be focused. Hades and Record do the best they can, but it will not be enough. And with that last push, the Nexus finally falling. So GG to eSuba in that first game.